Well, I was getting all wound up about the creaking door and getting blinkered and well, that sort of made me that introduction made me feel a little bit abashed and ashamed. We arrived in Melbourne 3 days ago, 3 or so days ago, and I've been crying a lot ever since. I think I'm in a grieving process, grieving over the food we had to eat on the aeroplane. I had a calzone, which was sort of like a human arm. Also, my mom's cat just died, Pepsi, a few months ago. She was meant to be my cat, but she gravitated towards me mom. You can't choose them, they choose you. And so I thought it was about time I got my own cat, and it's just been a total disaster. Excuse me. So, whoops. The first cat we got, oh God, was terrible. I got it home, everything's fine. I go to stroke it, and I prick my hand, and it just curls up in a ball. And then later that night, it crawled under a bonfire and got burned to death. But I wasn't to be deterred, so I tried again a couple of weeks later, and the guy in the aquarium said we had to keep it in 3 foot of water, so we were keeping this the bloody new cat in the bath, but every time you go and tickle him under the chin, you get an electric shock. In the end, we had to release him into a canal. But hope springs eternal in the human breast, and we got a third cat, and she's making all the right noises in the car home, in the carrier, because they get a bit distressed in the car, and so I'm thinking this is the one. And then when we just lift up the flap, let her come out of her own accord, and she just basically flies up, circles around the lamp 3 or 4 times, and when I try and knock her down, she just turns into dust. And then the fourth and final cat was the most baffling and depressing of them all. We got her round the back of Curry's. I've just realised now this bit doesn't work because you don't have Curry's in Australia, do you? Curry's is an electrical store. Should have done my research. What's an electrical store in Melbourne? That's Dick Smith, Dick Whizz's Electrics. So around the back of Dick Whizz's. This is going well, I think. Hello, first gig in Melbourne here. Well, second. It's going very smoothly. And we got this cat off the bloke around the back of there, and it was very, very peculiar. Got it home, and basically it's just fast asleep for 3 days. And it didn't come awake until we plugged in its lead into the wall, and its little eyes blinked on. But we couldn't figure out what to feed it. We tried everything. We tried all the different cat foods, tunas, cheeses, whiskers, Felix, all the different variations. And in the end, the only thing that it would eat was DVDs. And literally it gobbled this DVD up, and then we all suffered a 4-hour hallucination of Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece 2001. So I give up. Anyway, you've been great, Melbourne. Good night. And The premature goodbye, that's a good wedding speech. A good wedding speech should only ever last as long as it takes the groom to make love. And good night. There in sleep lies the magical bridge, hidden in a grove of blossoming mist. At the heart of a very ancient woods, traversing the blood of unborn children. We have a bond that can never be broken. An infinite poem of vanishing flash, a galleon of leaf moving low across the marshes. Bearing our ghosts into the future. The fish are nibbling at my toes. The trees are losing their color. The loss grows stronger day by day. I don't know if I can get Cheers. This song is about a bag which only exists in the song. It's a mixture of 4 or 5 different bags, and all of those bags exist in real life, or at least they did at one stage. That's the past. This is now. And that's the future. Oh yes, if you want to be able to see into the future, we established this yesterday, you just need to find some fox urine. It gives you the ability to perceive future events. So just have a little sip if you want to know what happens in the next 10 minutes, or a big gulp if you want to know what happens at midnight, say. And you're going to have to drink a shitload if you want to know what happens in a few weeks' time. So this is about a bag. It's a description of a bag. A knapsack made of oak, purchased for 30 francs from a market in Geneva in 1968. Carved from a single piece of wood, a level of workmanship one rarely comes across today. Many rainstorms have not dulled the luster of the wood. The lid of the satchel is made up of slats affixed to a piece of sky-colored felt. It closes with a click and fastens with a clasp, the shape of a bumblebee bloating glass. The shoulder strap is equally quaint, a daisy chain of leather fraying at the zenith of its arm. At the center of its flower there lies a bead of wood. I can't throw this bag away. I can't throw this bag away. A bar of Highland toffee, its wrapper still intact, with an expiration date of JN86. A strip of contraceptive pills, a box of Anodin Extra, half a dozen of those tiny Ladbrokes pens, shells collected from the shore of Newton by the sea, the smell of the ocean in a used handkerchief, a lattice of hairpins combing the beach. cloth-bound diary filled with cartography, countries that you saw whilst you were asleep, receding into leaf. I can see a bridge of moonlight flowing through the pane. I miss you. I can feel it in my molecules. I can't throw this bag away. I can't throw this bag away. Thanks very much. My grandparents got a bungalow in Bamber when they retired. They used to live in Burradon, which was like a pretty grim mining village, and but then they got a dream house in Bamber, or so they thought. Well, they did get a house, but the dream part. So they thought. Windy pops. Because Bamber, living in Bamber was fraught with danger, and the locals were terrorized by the Bamber Beast, which was, well, nobody really knew what it was, but there was a spate of livestock eviscerations, let's call them, in the mid-80s. And nobody knew what was really going on until a farmer actually ran over the beast on his moped. And the beast turned out to be very tiny, like a squid, like a ball of intestines with a like a human boy's eye on top, and a one protruding hoof with a Masonic symbol on the base. So that was the Bamber Beast. Every village along the Northumbrian coastline has its own beast. So the next village along, which is just a small hamlet, Monkhouses, its beast is a dog that at midnight. It runs out of the sea into the hamlet of Monkhouses and runs around and then runs back into the sea. It's a fairly shit beast, that one. Sea Houses, the next place along fishing village there, their beast is a 4-mile long piece of string with every few yards a paper cup attached, and the paper cups whisper insults to the residents, which is why if you ever meet anybody from Sea Houses, they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Which sort of brings me nicely onto the next village along, Beadnell, because their beast is just a bag of chips and moves up and down. Anyway, this song is the Bamber Beast. Thank you very much. Thank you. Who was here and not here? Who was here and not here? Who was there on Friday? The seafarers. Oh, a few. Oh, dear. So I can't use those jokes. Think fast. Think fast. Okay. Oh, okay. So there was a guy moved. Fella moves into a neighborhood, and he does his own lifting. He's very thrifty, so he's not really willing to part with the money to pay the removal men. He would prefer to spend it on his family and maybe on his nephews. You know, his nephew recently dropped their tablet and smashed it on tiles. They were in a conservatory, smashed the tablet on the tiles. Not that, you know, an 8-year-old should really be having a tablet, in my opinion. So, the guy moves all the stuff in himself. And there's a pub across the road. And he is very thirsty, so he goes in the pub, everybody turns around, sort of like a saloon situation. And he goes to the bar. He's a little perturbed, but he's thirsty, so he says, "Can I have a pint, please? I've never wanted a pint more than at this moment in my life. I've just shifted a whole lot of furniture. I wasn't willing to pay the removal men. I just would prefer to spend it on my nephews." I guess that's very admirable. How'd I get into this wormhole? Oh yeah. Says you can have a drink, but first you got to pass the initiation test. I said, "Great, I'll do anything you ask." And the fella says, "Okay, well it's a 3-part initiation test. The first part is that bottle of whiskey on the wall. You got to drink it all down in one gulp. Second part of the test is we've got alligator out in the back in a sort of small amount of water, and he's got a really bad tooth, and we need you to go out there and extract it. And third, upstairs we've got a 90-year-old spinster who's never been pleasured to orgasm, shall we say, and we need you to do that because she's thinking about raising the rent and it's just not going to fly. So let's just give her that treat that she deserves." So the guy says, "No problem. I really would like this pint, so of course I'll agree to those terms." And he gets a bottle of whiskey, drinks it all down in one go. It takes a few seconds, and he goes, "Okay," and he runs out into the yard, and everybody in the bar just hears these terrible sounds, thrashing around, gnashing of teeth, the screams of this fella, the splashing and the wailing and the screams. This goes on for about 20 minutes, and eventually the guy comes running back in, just like clothes hanging off him. He's missing fingers. His eyeball is hanging out on his cheek, and he goes, "Okay, now where's that old lady with the sore tooth?" Oh. And the funny thing about that story is his nephews wouldn't see him anymore because they were so terrified by his appearance. Here's 2 shepherd songs. This is a shepherd's crook. See if I can remember this one. We shepherds are the best of men that ever trod English ground, And when we reach an alehouse, we value not a pound. Oh, we drink our liquor freely, and we pay before we go. 'Cause there's no ale on the wold where the stormy winds do blow. A man that is a shepherd must have a valiant heart. He must not be faint-hearted, but boldly play his part. Oh, he must not be faint-hearted, be it hail or rain or snow, with no ale on the wold where the stormy winds do blow. When I kept sheep on Blockley Hill, it made my heart to weep, to see the ewes hang out their tongues, and to hear the foals to bleat. So I plucked up my courage, and over the hill did go, to pen my sheep in the fold where the stormy winds do blow. When I had safely penned my sheep, I turned my back in haste unto a jovial company. I briskly made my way, for drink and jovial company. Oh, it is my heart's delight, while my sheep safely sleep all the forepart of the night. Thank you. Some of you already heard this, but some of you haven't. This is about 7 guys walking through Yorkshire, and a comet passes overhead, and the comet brings syphilis from the stars. No word of a lie. And the moon splits open, and 2 figures on red horses ride out. Riding through Yorkshire, we come upon the ghost of a tree at Buttertub's Pass, golden and green, flapping its leaves, though it is winter and there is no breeze. 7 little sparrows, pale as soldiers, hopping in amongst the curling boughs. Then comes a shout from one of our party, old Albert Bousfield's fallen down a hole. Hope upon hope, fastened to a rope, not able to ascertain how deep it goes. Albert, can you hear me? Make a sound. If you can't make a sound, then clap 2 stones. Leaving behind our friend in the lime pit, we hurry on in quiet dread. into the fog, smothering the days. The raindrops are falling like the bars of a jail. Buried in the arsehole of the world, a row of burnt out huts, we made our beds. Lying awake, looking up through the black wooden beams, I can see the Milky Way. Comes there a scream out of the sky, a great ball of fire goes hurtling by. Everyone's awake now, what the hell is happening today? It's all so queer. Rising at dawn to find Thomas Knox has not from his sleep been summoned forth. Face like a mask, fixed in a gasp, we wrap him in blankets and we cover him with grass. Onward with our journey through Towlow and over Hadley Hill past Hanging Stone. Cold on an end to fill our bellies with dark bloody meat and sour black beer. There we were warned never to stray far from the road through Kyo Bog. Several of the children from the village disappeared last month without a trace. 3 hours later, we go in single file through a maze of moaning soil, reeking of dung, droning of flies. The moss on the trees glows as we pass by. There is something awful alive in this place we are most relieved to leave behind. The moon is a peach in the brown fields of Kibblesworth. It won't be long till we get home. Crumpet our guts, bile in our throats, mischief undulating through our bones. Suddenly the city lights surround us, disappearing up into the clouds. 7 little sparrows, pale as soldiers, hopping in amongst the curling boughs. Thanks very much. Thank you. I was singing a song called Geordie. Shirley Collins is the version I heard. Shirley and Dolly. And it's a beautiful arrangement. Harpsichords and... what's that? Crumhorn? It's not crumhorn. Crumhorn's like the walking stick, innit? It's French horn. French horn. And this is sort of like a photocopy of that version. Put the coins in case I ever need. I'm caught short and I need to catch a bus. Excuse me. Just in case you were doubting the quality of this instrument. As I walked over London Bridge one misty morning early, I overheard a tender-hearted girl plead for the life of Geordie. Now Geordie robbed nor stole horses, he never murdered any, he only shot a king's white deer, all for to feed his family. And the judge looked over his left shoulder, and thus he spoke to Geordie, by your confession you shall hang, and the Lord have mercy upon you. And Geordie looked around the court and saw his dearest Polly. He said, my love, you've come too late, for I'm condemned already. It is 6 little babies you've given to me. The 7th lies in my body, but freely would I part with her to spare the life of Geordie. And Geordie walked around the court and said farewell to many, but the leaving of his own true love, that grieved him worst of any. Let Geordie hang in golden chains, his crimes they were not many, he only shot a king's white deer, all for to feed his family. Cheers. How are we doing for time, Joel? What? A bit of time? Cool. 20 minutes of time? Is that what you said? Cool. If I find out who it is who's been creeping up here, twizzling my knobs, there's going to be hell to pay. Can I get a bit more vocal in the monitor, please? Just a touch. On my way to your house, I was beaten and robbed by a band of moon-faced vagabonds. They were rifling through my pockets and untying my shoes. When the air began to boil, slow as a black dog in the sky, who pisses and slobbers all over the world, from Belfast to Wooler, to be no land for. He slowly devours the light. I did not see what occurred, but I heard their awful sounds and smelled the perfume of death. When I opened my eyes, the sun no longer shine for those who are children. Here I lie in the mud, my waistcoat caked in blood, not able to stand of my own volition. A flash of lightning illuminates the belly of the beast. I see entrails dripping in the tree. Slow is the black dog in the sky, who pisses and sobbers all over the world, from Belfast to Wooler, to be no long fool. He slowly devours bosom of the hill, through an ocean of fog, I am ceaselessly drawn to the lantern in your window, to the lantern in your window, to the lantern in your window, to the lantern in your window. Thanks very much. I gotta say, very lucky, grateful to be here. Melbourne's all right. Lacks edge. High risk tactics there. Paid off. Could I have a 15-minute warning, Joel? Is this 15-minute warning now, or is 15 minutes too long? It's 1:45. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. No, but you know, it's someone has to get on after too, so we don't want to. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Would you like a song with guitar and singing, or just singing? Guitar, interesting. Just guitar, please stop singing. I'll do a couple more, and they're both pretty long, so if you're not enjoying this, now would be a good time to go. It's not going to get any better for you. This song I heard Anne Briggs sing it first, and it's a nice version, but the version I prefer is Stephanie Hladovsky, if you get a chance to hear that. Stephanie's from Bradford. She's a great singer. Thank you for bearing with my slow pace. I appreciate it. Don't take that as an apology. It's not an apology. Never apologize. But I appreciate it. I think it's better to slow down sometimes, rather than rush. Also, please could everybody join me telling Joel to start looking after himself. He's been running around like a blue arse fly. All he's had to eat today is a bloody banana smoothie and what is it, a goslam, something like that. You had a jar of oil. It's not just a day, it's more of a general point. I don't mean to nag you. Got to look after yourself today, so you can get to tomorrow. Hey. So that's the little instant song there. Wise words from myself, if I do say so. The king had been a prisoner, and a prisoner long in Spain, and Willie of the Winsbury had long with his daughter been laid. What ails you, my daughter Janet? You look so pale and wan. Have you had any of the sore sickness, or yet been sleeping with a man? I have not had any sore sickness, or yet been sleeping with a man. It is for you, my father dear, for biding so long in Spain. Cast off your berry brown gown, stand naked on the stone, so I may know you by your shape, whether you be a maiden or not. And she cast off her berry brown gown, stood naked on the stone. Her apron was low, her haunches round, her face was pale and wan. Was it with a lord or a duke or a knight, or a man of birth and fame? Or was it with one of my serving men, who's lately come home from Spain? No, it wasn't with a lord or a duke or a knight, or a man of birth and fame. It was with Willie of Winsbury I could bide no longer alone. And the king has called his merry men all, by 30 and by 3. He says, fetch me this Willie of Winsbury, for hanged he shall be. when he came before the king. He was clad all in red silk. His hair was like the strands of gold. His skin was as white as milk. Now I understand. Now I understand, said the king, why my daughter's heart you did win. For if I was a woman, as I am a man, my bedfellow you would have been. Now will you marry my daughter Janet by the truth of your right hand? Or will you marry my daughter Janet? I'll make you the lord of my life. Oh yes, I will marry your daughter Janet by the truth of my right hand. Oh yes, I'll marry your daughter Janet, but I'll not be the lord of your land. And he's mounted on a milk-white steed, himself a dappled grey. He's made her the lady of just as much land as she can ride on a warm summer's day. Bartholomew, much to the chagrin of the deputy headmaster, whose scarlet skull is firmly locked between her thighs. I only drank a few little droplets. I only took a tiny draught of the vile Downing as that soul bright stubbies in the light's bog, I listen to the dull reflection of a carry on in the toilet. Oh, my levels drifting away from me. Matthew Mooney's buckle in my hair smells like menthol tar. Outside the chip shop, Thaddeus wax that fractured my cheekbone. 3 empty cans of Castlemaine 4X go rolling down my trouser leg. Blood, stump and curry coalesce in the corners of my nails. My friend drifting away from me. I only drank a few little droplets. I only took a tiny drop of the vile storm. Attempting to penetrate a coconut husk with a Phillips head screwdriver, I pierce a hole straight through my hand into the laminate worktop. It's a major operation to repair a damaged tendon. I come around with the tube still down my throat. The milk of amnesia fills my cup, and back into the hole I go. Snoring like a pan of broth, I arouse the ire of my fellow patients, wagging their ladles in the dark. My neighbour Andrew lost 2 fingers to a staffy cross whilst jogging over Cow Hill with a pepperoni in his bum bag. He's a junior partner at James and James, no win, no fee solicitor, thinking of relocating to a Buddhist monastery in Halifax. He reckons I should try meditation. He reckons it could benefit my peace of mind. My bedroom walls are papered with the stripes of Newcastle United. Between with anchor. Few little droplets I only took out. Tiny drop. Oh, yeah. Thanks very much. Take care. Lots of love.